Hello everyone. Before going to the today topic, I would like to say we have already studied about many topics of the permeability chapter, like what is total stress, neutral stress, effective stress, geostatic stress, and the definition of the permeability. As you know, the permeability we can define. It is the properties of a porous materials which allow or permits the passage or flow of water through the interconnecting voids, right? So we have also talked about the Darcy law, validity of Darcy law, how we can determine permeability in the laboratory using the constant head and falling head method. We have also talked about for which type of soil these methods are applicable. In addition, we have also discussed about how we can determine average permeability perpendicular to the bedding plane and also parallel to the bedding plane. So today we shall talk about the seepage. So what is seepage? See, permeability, as you know, permeability is nothing but it is the property of a porous materials which permits the flow of water through the interconnecting voids. Whereas in case of seepage we can define. Seepage is the flow of water under gravitational forces through the porous media, right? Let us take one example. Suppose the water is stored in the reservoir and the reservoir has the water due to the earthen dam. Actually, earthen dam has been used for the storage of water or for the construction of reservoir. So as you know, the earthen dam is there. As the water level in the reservoir will increase, the gravitational forces on the upstream surface of the earthen dam will also increase. Water seeks its own level. So what is going to happen? What is going to happen if the water level is going to increase? The gravitational forces of the water will also increase on the upstream face of the earthen dam. And definitely the earthen dam is a porous media. So due to the gravitational forces, the water will start seeping or seepage will take place. Okay. So what is going to happen? In the reservoir, high head is there along the upstream side, and on the downstream side, low head is there, or head is water is not there. So what is going to happen? Definitely from the upstream side to downstream side, the seepage may take place. Okay, from high head to low head. The quantity of water that flows from the upstream to downstream side in unit time is called seepage loss. Seepage loss, that is nothing but the discharge from upstream side to the downstream side. So that means how much water is going to seep or discharge from one side to the other side per unit time is the quantity of water which is going outside, or we can see it is a seepage loss in the form of a discharge, right? So now we shall see what are the various types of flow. So two types of flows are there. The first one is called as gravity flow or unconfined flow. Gravity flow means here we see this is the earthen dam, okay, and this earthen dam has been constructed on the impervious stratum, right? This impervious stratum will definitely not allow the flow of water or the seepage of water through the foundation of the dam, right? But the earthen dam has been constructed by the earth, by the soil. So definitely it will be porous. We can say it is a porous media. So there is no confinement. There is no confinement. And this upstream side, you can see this is the water level. So what is going to happen? The seepage will start taking place towards the downstream side, right? So these are called as flow lines, also called as phreatic lines. So from this side to this side, the downstream side, the seepage will take place due to the gravity. This is called as gravity flow or unconfined flow. Unconfined means there is no pressure. Pressure is not going to be developed here. The flow of water is taking place from this side to this side, right? So the same thing is done there. The water flows under gravity. These boundary layers, right? This is called as phreatic lines or flow lines. Next types of flow is the pressure flow or confined flow. Confined flow means where the water is not easily going to pass from the upstream side to downstream side, right? Definitely the pressures is going to work there. How? Let us take this example. This figure we can see. This is the seed pile wall, right? So through the seed pile wall, no seepage will take place. And the foundation of the seed pile wall is made up of the pervious soil. Okay. And this side we have stored the water. So what is going to happen? The seepage will not take place through the body of the seed pile, all right? Or body of the dam, or the dam has been made by the seed. So through the seed pile, the body of the seed pile, no seepage will take place. Whereas the seepage will start taking place through the foundation. Okay. You can see that this is the seepage line or flow lines, which is coming from this upstream side with the help of pressures, and then it is coming towards the downstream sides. Okay. So it is also written there, where in impervious structure such as seed pile or a concrete weir, this is the impervious structure, retained water seepage occurs through the soil mass lying beneath the structures. So from this side, water seeks its own level, because here no this it is not impervious layer. So water will try to move from this side to that side, right? Downstream sides. So this is called as unconfined flow. This is called a confined flow or pressure flow. Now, next points we shall see. We have discussed in the permeability chapter whatever the flow is going to take place, that is one-dimensional flow, right? But in seepage, we are going to discuss about the two-dimensional flow. So for this, Laplace has given one equation. He has derived one equation, how the two-dimensional flow takes place. This is also called as basic equation for seepage or equation of continuity. Seepage of water through any soil mass, irrespective of the flow type. That is, whether the flow is going to take place either through the confined media or unconfined media, right, is governed by the Laplace equations of continuity. So let us consider, to derive the Laplace equation, let us consider a soil element along the path of the flow, right? This is the path of the flow. So we are going to take one element, soil element here, that is infinitesimally small, very, very small, right? Now consider the curvature shape of the flow line on which this element is located. So definitely you can see the inlet and the outlet. The flow is going to take place through this element, and the path is going to follow, which is curvilinear in shape, right? The degree of curvature of the flow line on the left-hand side and right-hand side, that means upstream side and downstream side of the element are different, right? Degree of curvature will be different, right? At the entry level, we can also say at the entry level and the exit level, the curvature will be different, slope will be different, gradient will be different, right? But this is a very small difference we can see. The difference between inlet and outlet, because this particle is the small, it is very small elements, soil elements, right? So what it says that the quantity of water flowing through a saturated soil mass, as well as the distribution of water pressures, can be estimated by the theory of flow of fluids through a porous media, right? Whatever the quantity of water is going to flow through a porous media, and definitely it is going to flow through the empty space or through the voids. So the pressure, definitely the pressure will also be going to be developed along the surrounding of the voids due to the water, right? The pressure distribution also be there. So that we can study by the Laplace equation. Laplace has given many assumptions. You can see the first assumption. What he says, the saturated porous medium is incompressible. That cannot be compressed. The size of the pore space is also not going to change, right? As the water passes or as the time passes. So Darcy law is also valid in this case. This is also one of the assumptions. The quantity of water flowing into any element of the volume is equal to the quantity which flows out the same length of the time. That means whatever the discharge is going to enter through a soil element, the same amount is going to come out through the exit level. That means the discharge at entry level and the exit level will be equal. This is also one of the assumptions. So next assumption is the hydraulic boundary condition at entry and exit are known, right? And water is incompressible. Laplace has assumed that water cannot be compressed. So these are the 5 assumptions are there. These assumptions we can use to derive his equation. So let us consider this figure. This is a various this is the soil element, but it has been magnified. It is in magnified forms, right? So what we are going to consider, delta x is the thickness of the soil, and delta y, you can see the dimension of the two-dimensional flow. One flow is in the x direction, another flow is going to take place in y direction. So two-dimensional flow, the Laplace has developed the equation for the two-dimensional flow. One we can consider as the x direction and another is the y direction. So two-dimensional flow. And this element, soil element, has been magnified so that we can see the big size of the figure, right? And the thickness of this soil element, we are going to consider unit thickness, right? So here we have shown the cross section. Let us take the cross section. So per unit thickness is there, right? And let us suppose the Vx is the entry velocity in x direction and Vy is the entry velocity in y direction. And you can see, as I told you in the beginning or in the previous slide, the soil element exists at the curvilinear paths of the water flow. So definitely the gradient will be there, right? Entry and exit level. In between the entry and exit level, the gradient will be there. And definitely it is very small. So that's why we are going to denote by dou Vx by dou x, right? So dou Vx by dou, so the entry velocity Vx and exit velocity, we are going to add the dou Vx by dou x, right? Due to the exit gradient, the curvilinear path we are also going to consider. And the distance is delta x, so we are going to multiply by delta x. So once the velocity is the Vx here, then it is going to change, or we can say that this value will be added. This minor changes is going to take place at the exit point. So velocity components, that's why I have written here, dou Vx by dou x is the gradient of the tangent through the point in the surface. Vx is the function of the x in the direction of the x-axis, because it is going to acquire the curvilinear path. So definitely the tangent will be there, the gradient will be there. And this gradient is we are going to consider at the exit level, because from entry to exit, it is going to follow the curvilinear path, curve path. So we are going to consider this gradient, dou Vx by dou x, and this distance is delta x. So it is going to multiply. So the velocity will be this will be Vx plus dou Vx by dou x into delta x will be velocity. Similarly, velocity for in the y directions will be these values. Okay, and delta y is the dimension of this soil element. So now we have seen the assumption. What the assumption says, that the discharge at the entry level will be equal to the discharge at exit level. So entry and exit discharge will be equal. This is also one of the assumption. So what we can say and what we can write here. So you can see the entry discharge Vx into delta y into 1. Why we are writing this one? Vx is the velocity and delta y is this dimension. Delta y is going to cross the delta y and the per unit length we are going to take. So the Vx into delta y into 1. Delta y into 1 is the area, cross-sectional area of this element, and the Vx is velocity. So if you are going to multiply the cross-sectional area multiply by Vx, definitely it will be cubic meter per second. That means discharge. So discharge at entry level in x direction, discharge in entry level in y direction, both will be added. And this is also going to become like this way. Vx plus delta Vx by x, delta x into delta x multiply by this cross-sectional area delta y into 1. So this this is the exit discharge, and this is also exit discharge in y directions. So both will be added, and this entry discharge will be equal to exit discharge. So we can also equate it. So now what is going to happen? Once you are going to solve this equation, we shall find out dou Vx by dou s plus dou Vy by dou y is equal to 0. So this is called as equation of continuity or continuity equation. Next things we can see that, as we know, our one assumption is Darcy law is valid flow for flow through the soil. We are definitely considering the soil element, and as you know, Vx is equal to V is equal to Ki. This is that is the Darcy law. Vx is equal to Kx into Ix, and Ix is the hydraulic gradient. So along the x directions, we are going to consider the head loss delta H, dou H here, dou H by, and the distance dou X is a very small element, right? So similarly, in y direction, we are going to consider Ky into Iy. Iy is nothing but the hydraulic gradient in y directions, okay? So coefficient Kx and Ky is the coefficient of permeability in x and y directions. So now we are going to substitute these values in equation 1. This is the equation 1 which we have seen in the previous slide. So once you are going to substitute the Vx is nothing but by these values, Kx into dou H by dou X. So what is going to happen? You can see it is going to become dou S square Kx into H. Here we can write. So this equation, after substitution of these values, this equation 1 is going to become like this way, right? But here the soil is isotropic. Isotropic, it is having identical properties in all the direction. That means the permittivity along the x-axis, along x direction and the y directions will remain same. So we can consider as the k. So the previous equation we can write in place of Kx, Kh, in place of Ky, we can write Kh. So, and this values, the Kh is called as velocity potential. So once you are going to substitute the phi is equal to Kh, here this equation will become like this way. So this is called as Laplace equation of flow in 2 dimensions. So this is all about your today topic. Thank you very much.